Hey guys, it's Mr. Crayfish, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I thought this would be cool to start on this channel alongside doing the content on my main channel. So this video today is actually going over the full changelog for the vehicle mod. So that means going over literally everything. So that includes bug fixes, kind of like small little features that I may have not decided to put in the main video, because the main video on my main channel is more about, you know, focusing on the big major features of every single update. I don't really like to kind of go into the little nitty gritty, kind of like just like the bug fixes and that type of stuff, which are still really important, but they're just kind of useless as a video and provide no content at all. But I thought for the people that want to know everything about this update, I thought I would do these second videos on my second channel and get into a little bit more detail. So we're just going to go ahead, get straight into it. So the first change is that vehicles now take destruction. So if you've seen the main video, you already know about this, but I'm just going to go over it again. So if I was to drive off this off the top of my house here, the vehicle is actually going to take some damage. So let's just make sure I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we might have to be in survival. Oh no, let's just. I think it's fine in creative mode. I think it's fine. We'll see. So let's drive off here, and there we go. We notice it actually took a little bit of damage, because when it takes damage, the vehicle will actually shake. So it is a little bit damaged right now. You can't really see anything about it. Let's go ahead. Let's do that again. Let's bring it back up here. Let's face it the correct way. Now, because I got shaders on, unfortunately, you can't really see the damage. It is actually there. But this is a new system that I've put in place just so, you know, people can't be like extremely crazy with the vehicles. As you noticed, I was driving off the roof of my house there quite a couple of times, and that's a pretty high drop, and the vehicle is still not broken. So it is quite difficult to actually destroy your vehicle. Now, a thing about the damage as well is that if it's on the last stage of the damage, you will not be able to drive the vehicle. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to actually get it here, just because I can't really see the damage. If we go ahead, let's just turn off shaders for a second here. I think it's just a little bit broken. I'm going to have to look into it. Okay, oh, there it goes. Well, as I was saying, at the last stage of the damage, the vehicle will become inoperable. So if we were to go into game mode C right now, I think it's on the last stage. Okay, it doesn't look like it is. Let's just go ahead. Let's give it one more sneaky hit. Hopefully it doesn't break. Sneaky hit. Alright, I just want to do this carefully. I want to show it off. There we go. So as you can see, we're at a stage with the vehicle where it cannot be driven at all. There's a slight glitch that the wheels are still turning, the engine's still shaking. I'm going to have to fix that up. But this is pretty much the last stage of the vehicle. And this is a point where you're like, hey, I need to repair this right now. So that leads me on to the next part of the changelog here, and that is that the vehicles can be repaired. So in order to repair them, you're going to need to get a jack, and you're also going to need to get a new item called a hammer. Now, how do you craft the hammer? Well, it's quite simple, and it's very similar to the wrench. I don't think I've unlocked the recipes. Let me just go ahead and unlock them right now. So if we go into here and then we type in hammer, to create a hammer, all you need is 4 iron ingots, 3 at the top, 1 in the middle, and then grey concrete at the bottom, and that will give you a hammer. And then simply what you want to do is place your vehicle on a jack. So pick it up, place it on a jack, and then all you have to do is actually right click the vehicle. So keep right clicking it, and then you'll know it's actually repaired, because what it's going to do is spawn some particles and play a sound. There we go. The vehicle is completely repaired, and it's completely free to repair the vehicles. You don't actually have to give it any sort of materials. I wanted to kind of I don't know, in my opinion it was kind of like I didn't want to make it cost anything, but thinking about it now, I could potentially add in kind of like you have to have like iron ingots in your inventory in order to repair it. Might be a good way to give it a bit of balance, but I don't know. I think I like the system right now. It's more about like knocking out the dents in the vehicle rather than like actually fixing it. But that's how you repair your vehicles, and that is the brand new hammer. Now I quickly just wanted to show off what happens when you actually break a vehicle completely. So if you do break it, you'll get the materials back. However, you may not get all of it. As you can see, we have 35 ingot, we have all the wheels back actually, 4 panels, and then the wooden engine. But if we go ahead and we were to go ahead and take a look at the workstation here, so grab that, pop that down, and let's take a look at the go-kart recipe. If I can find it. There it is. As you can see, we actually lost one of the iron ingots. Now, I might be increasing this a little bit because I feel like it gives too much of the materials back, and therefore doesn't really make destruction something you gotta kind of worry about. Like if you destroy a vehicle, who cares, because you pretty much get all the materials back and you can craft a fresh one, no worries. So I think I might reduce the material a little bit more. But yeah, we definitely did not get them all back. The next change we're going to look at is that fertilizers and seeders will now render the items in the trailer. This is something that I wanted to do when I initially added in these trailers, but I kind of held back because I had to kind of write a little bit of a coding system in order for this to work, because it's not like a simple, you know, render these items. You actually have to sync the items from the server to the client, and it's a little bit of work, but I got it to work. And when we now put in some seeds into the trailer here, and also get some fertilizer out as well, let's just grab that, let's put this into the fertilizer actually, pop that into there. If we take a look on the inside, have a look at that, we can now see the items that are in the trailer here actually, or in the inventory in the trailer here, which is really cool. So let's grab some more of these out, and you'll see that it kind of starts to pile up inside of the trailer. This fertilizer actually looks really awesome with it filled like that. Have a look at that. That thing is completely full. Let's go ahead, let's fill up the seeder now. I don't know, let's just grab out some cocoa beans, because I'm pretty sure, oh no, they can't go in, okay. So you can actually only put seeds in the trailer now. Before you were able to put any item, but now it's kind of exclusive to seeds or the, you know, whatever is compatible with the trailer, because it depends on, you know, maybe there's a mod out there that adds something that can be planted into the ground, because this does support modded seeds as well, not just vanilla ones. Let's grab some beetroot seeds. I was about to say boot treat. Boot treat seeds, guys. That's the new way to say it. But this definitely makes these trailers feel a lot more immersive now, and it's good because when you're actually planting the seeds, if you don't see any seeds in the trailer, that means there's going to be none in the inventory here. So it's a good indication when you are actually using that. You need to fill up some more seeds. You need to get some more fertilizer. Now, I did slightly mention this before, but if we actually hop on vehicles now which have their engines showing, such as the go-kart here, you'll see that the engine actually shakes now. So there's an ever so slight shake to the engines. I might be improving this in the future, because right now it doesn't really look like it's shaking, but it's like shaking in a really weird fashion that I want to kind of, you know, improve a little bit. You know, I don't want to leave it like that. This is my mod. I like to take my time and make everything up to my standard, and this definitely needs a little work, but it's just again one of those little slight changes that is not really worthy to actually mention, just because it's so small and it provides literally like 5 seconds of content on the main channel. Like, no one's really gonna care too much for this. It's just kind of like one of these little details, attention to detail, I should say. Now, this next change is one of my favorites in this update, and that is I've improved drifting physics, and this is something that I did cover in the main video as well, but drifting needed some improvements. I realized as I was developing that drifting was kind of, it was good, but like it wasn't that good. Like it could have been better. So I spent some time working on the physics, and it actually feels really nice to drift now, and it feels like it's still like an arcadey type drift. Like, you don't have to really worry about balancing the drift or anything like that. It's like an automatic drift that is mainly there to just have fun. So I've just grabbed out a couple of vehicles here, and we're going to we're going to test these out. I guess I'll start with the mini bike because I like the mini bike. But when you actually hold down space now, and to be honest, this is kind of like a feature no one even knows about. Like, I mean, like, I can see why people don't really know about it, because it's not really an instinct to hold down space in this mod while you're driving a vehicle. But if you do hold down space, it's going to put you into a bit of a drift mode. So let's go ahead, let's ride around the town here, or well, the abandoned town, I should say. But I'm holding down space now, and as you can see, we are drifting. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are actually drifting, and it's actually a little bit better now. So once you actually pop into a drift, you actually kind of stay in the drift for a little bit longer. Like, even if you let go of the arrow key, you actually continue to actually drift. Let's grab the smart car now, and something that I also want to point out with this new drifting physics is if you actually take a look at the tires now, they will actually point in the opposite direction for the counter steer. So this is something that happens when you are drifting in real life, is that instead of, if you're turning to the left, your wheels are actually pointing to the right. So that is what happens now in the vehicle mod. As you can see, we're going left, but my wheels at the front of the car there are actually turning to the right. So that's just a little bit of a attention to detail with the new drifting system, but I don't think it's that good in the electric car. I think the best vehicles to do drifts in are the mini bike, the go-kart, and the off-roader I find to be good. But I guess if you upgrade this engine to maybe like a diamond engine or something like that, it might even be better. Let me know down in the comment section below which is your favorite vehicle to actually drift around on. Now this next feature is really simple, but I thought I would add it in because it was actually easy to program as well. It's a simple feature, but it was also easy to program too, so why not just add it in? So when we actually put a vehicle onto the jack here, and then we get a wrench here and we go into the edit GUI, with the right click there, this view now, we can actually click it, right? We can click it and move it around. We can rotate it by holding right click and drag around like that, and we can also zoom as well. So if we want to take a little bit of a closer look at the parts on our vehicle, we can actually do so through this GUI instead of actually in the game here. So as you can see, we can take a close look at the engine here. We've got the kind of cover, we've got the fuel tank at the back here. Not sure what this stuff is, I just added it to the engine because I mean, I looked at a picture for it, and it's really cool. Maybe we could go ahead and take a look at the smart car now instead, because this has got, I mean, it's a bigger vehicle first of all. So pop that onto there, let's open up here and we can take a closer look at this thing here. So we've got headlights at the front, we've got a grille, kind of looks like a face at the front, but who cares. Come around the back here, we've got some indicators, we've got the tow bar, and it's just, again, it's just a really small feature that was easy to add in. Like, I honestly probably did this in like less than half an hour, which is crazy. It was really a really easy feature to add in, but that's pretty much it for that. Now this next change is something that people may consider a little bit controversial. Can I even say that? Controversial. I don't. It's like, honestly, I've struggled with that word my entire life, and I can't say it. Controversial. We're just gonna go with that. But some of you may have understood what I meant by that, and the number one rule to Minecraft is never to add in circles. But unfortunately, I decided to improve the wheel model, mainly because we're actually going to be adding in a new wheel system soon, and I was going to redo it anyway because we're going to have new wheels. We're going to have different types of them, and to get better detail out of them, we're going to need a bit more of a round wheel. So it's hard to notice here, but if we go ahead and we zoom on the smart car here, as you can see, the wheel is a lot more round. So I'm actually taking advantage of the full 22.5 rotations that you can do on JSON models. If you've done JSON models before, you know you can rotate at 22.5 degrees. Before it was just 45 degrees each time, but now it is actually I think it's a 12-sided circle. So it's not technically a circle, it's still a 12-sided circle, just a low poly one. But in my opinion, not many people really noticed it. Like, I was like going to like just put it as in a secret change into the mod, and not many people really complained about it. People don't really mind it, so I guess like if you were looking at the smart car here, you don't really notice it because the smart car is the one that actually looks blocky rather than the wheels. Now this next change we're going to take a look at is thanks to you guys, because you're the ones that play with my vehicle mod in survival mode. I don't really play on my vehicle mod in survival mode, but I still, you know, develop for it. But it's ultimately up to you guys to give me feedback on, you know, various gameplay aspects, and one of them was the fluid extractors and the amount of fluid that you get from ender pearls and blaze rods. And a lot of you guys said that it wasn't actually giving enough. So if we go ahead and we pop this into the machines here, you'll notice that the amount of fluid you get has increased. So now from blaze rods you actually get, I think it's 350, 350, we'll see here in a second. And then from the ender pearl, I'm pretty sure it's 500. So previously I think it was like 100 from the ender pearl, so it's pretty much times it by 5. Actually, I think it was like 80. I think it was 80. So yeah, we got 500 ender sap, and then for the blaze juice we got 350. So you get a lot more fluid from this, which means you can create a lot more fuel now from the items, because you know, ender pearls and blaze rods, you can get a lot of them. Like if you go to the nether, you can find a blaze spawner and farm them there. But again, you kind of have to do it manually unless you can set up some sort of auto farm in modded, which there probably is. And then as well, ender pearls, if you're going to do it with like minimal mods, you would have to go to like the end and farm some endermen there. If you had modded, I'm sure there's a way to actually create them, but still, I've increased the amount and it should be a little bit easier for you guys to create fuel now. So this was a bug in the previous version, but if we actually had a helicopter, right? If you were to actually hop on this, and I think it was like, if you just span around a couple of times, maybe like 360 or 720, eventually the helicopter would start glitching out and you wouldn't be able to fly it. Well, I've actually fixed the issue now, so you should be able to fly the helicopters without any problems. And another problem as well that may be fixed, and I need you guys to help to confirm this. I actually didn't write this down on the changelog, but it's one that you guys have been you know, reporting quite a lot. I have like, I think there's like 3 separate issues on literally the same issue on GitHub, and that is that planes, and I think it was even the helicopter would crash servers. And I think I have actually fixed the issue. So if you are using this mod on a server, update it, get the latest version updated, because I want to know if it's fixed. And if it is fixed, I'm going to be so happy, because it's been a bug in my vehicle mod for a very long time, and a lot of people have been very displeased with it. There's nothing more fun that I can think of than having my vehicle mod on a server, and for people, you know, like having a server crash because they got my vehicle mod is very disappointing. So I'm hoping that the bug has been fixed. I'll put the issues down in the description below, what I'm actually describing, and if you guys don't happen to experience it anymore, please do let me know. I would love to know if this issue has been actually solved, because it was kind of a bug that would happen randomly. I never really knew how to reproduce. So the remaining changes we're taking a look at are simply just bug fixes. That helicopter one was a bug fix as well, but all the changes left are just bug fixes now. So one really small thing is that the tow bar on the smart car has been fixed. Previously it was like, I think it was like inside the vehicle, like on the seat here, but it's been fixed now, and it's at the back, and it also no longer crashes the game. That was an issue as well. For some reason, like attaching a trailer to the smart car would crash the game. Another fix is that this is kind of very like minor. I'm sure nobody really came across this one, but previously what you would be able to do with trailers is actually attach them to themselves. And this would only occur on the storage trailer, because if you don't know about the storage trailer, there is actually a tow bar at the back of it. So if you were to grab the trailer like this, so you'd put it onto like a smart car like that, but maybe instead of doing that, you try to attach it to itself. So simply just clicking here, right, would try to attach the front hitch here to the back of it. Like, completely doesn't make sense, you know. But you were able to do it. But I fixed that bug up now, and it no longer, because like if you did attach it, it would start spinning around. It was kind of really funny, but it's fixed up. It's fixed up now, and it will no longer occur. I've also fixed, this is something that a ton of you guys have been bugging me about too, is that I fixed up the couch vehicle now. So if you have my furniture mod installed alongside my vehicle mod, you can get this as a special vehicle. It's only in creative mode, you can't actually craft it in the survival mode. But I've fixed up the render now, so you can actually hop on this thing again and start driving it around everywhere you like. Another change, and I think this is the last one, is that the trailer hitboxes have been fixed. So this is probably something you didn't really notice or don't even really know about, but I'm going to explain it right now for the people that, this is my second channel. I'm going to get into a little bit of detail here for the people that are a little bit more on that technical side. So let's go ahead, let's summon all the trailers here. And this as well applies to vehicles too, but if we go into mod options here, we find my vehicle mod, we go to client, debug, and then we render vehicle outlines, turn that on. We might also have to just quickly turn up shaders here. So here we go. So once you turn on that render outlines, you'll see on all the vehicles and also the trailers here, we have these lines outlining the model of the vehicle, and this is actually something that is very special about the vehicle mod, and I think it's kind of like, honestly, I think it's like a one-of-a-kind type thing that no mod has ever done before. Now, this was actually implemented by someone in the community called Phylogeny. They're probably watching this video right now. But why this is so cool is that we can actually hit any part of the model to actually interact with the entity, and this is not like Minecraft entities at all, because they only have kind of like a hitbox, like an actual it's just like a box. Like if you think of it, it's just like this, but this has like multiple boxes on it, and it also has angled boxes as well. So let's, for instance, like this storage trailer here, right? Let's go ahead, let's just grab the front here. If you notice this green at the front here, this is actually an interaction box. And you can see as well the chest here is outlined with it as well. That means it's an interactable part on the entity. Otherwise, if we do just hit the red here, that's just going to open the normal, that's just going to trigger the normal interaction. But if we actually go ahead, and I think this actually does it for this trailer, but if, let's say we just literally hit the side of the mudguard here, okay, so I think it actually, yeah, it's only the green box that opens up the actual chest. So let's go really close to this, right? So we have our mouse inside of the green box here. It opens up the storage. If we literally just poke it outside of the box there, as you can see, it will not open up the box. So it's a much more accurate system, and it allows for so many cool things in the vehicle mod. And one thing notably that it actually uses this for is, let's go ahead, let's grab out, I think the golf cart has one. The golf cart. And then we also grab out a key, right? So if we take a look here, let's go ahead, let's pop that on. So as you can see, we now have a key port on the golf cart here, and how this actually works is it uses that system. So we can actually detect that we're clicking on the key port on the vehicle here, because we know what we're actually clicking on. So if we click there, we can plug the key in. Let's say if we actually click anywhere else, it's actually not going to put the key into the vehicle. We actually have to click the key port in order to actually insert it to the vehicle. So this just allows for so many cool things to be done with the vehicle mod. Definitely have not seen this around before, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Now the change I wanted to talk about was the hitboxes on the trailers here. So previously all the trailers had the hitbox of the vehicle trailer, but as you can see now, the hitboxes are all the same, or are the correct hitboxes for the trailer, so they use their own models now in order to generate the hitboxes. And this again introduces a new system which in code all these items, so the fertilizer here, the seeder, the fertilizer, and the storage trailer are actually the same item now. So this actually, instead of creating like a new item for every single vehicle body, we can actually use one item now and just add a variant to it, which is really, really cool, and saves on memory too as well. So saves on memory, makes it better for modded performance. And yeah, that is the last change we are taking a look at in today's update. But that's going to end off this changelog today. Let me know what you thought about this in the comment section below. I think it's kind of good to go over all the changes, and I definitely want to make this second channel a little bit more active, because I know there is people that do follow me for my mods and like to see all the technical side and get into the nitty gritty, or they even just want extra content from my main video, because I'm actually going to be linking these videos together. So if you guys don't want to see like this kind of nitty gritty stuff, I will point you over to the main channel video at the start of the video. I don't think I mentioned it in the intro, but I will put like a card at the start of the video in case you don't want to watch this in-depth video, and same vice versa. I will link people to this if they want to get into a little bit more detail. But anyway, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you want to keep up to date with all my mods and model creator updates. I got really cool stuff coming. I'm really like in the zone right now. I'm really in the zone. I haven't really been active recently, and that's because I haven't been in the zone, but I'm back in the zone. I've recorded a couple videos today, so that's kind of boosted my motivation. Anyway, I'm going to end this off. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for joining. Bye.